Who's that Pokemon?
It's Pikachu!
It's Emolga!
Was I wrong? Emolga and Pachirisu, 5th and 4th generation Pikachu clones, or electric rodents, or as Pachirisu's own Pokédex puts it, it's one of those kinds of Pokemon with electric cheek pouches. I'm glad they're self-aware. And yes, we did get 2 white, squirrely Pikachu clones in a row, but at least Emolga is a flying squirrel. With a terrible name! Emolga. Yeah, Pachirisu can't even stand it. Get back over here. So, let's talk about them and reveal their lore, origins, biology, and why Emolga is just so superior and more interesting. Except for its name. But let's go in order. Pachirisu first. It's just a squirrel. And its name mixes the Japanese words for the sound of electric crackling and squirrel. Because it's a Pikachu squirrel. Pachirisu being a squirrel is actually pretty interesting though, because it's the first electric rodent or Pikachu clone to be based on something so specifically, and they all have been since. The Pikachu line are all mice, gerboa, pika, rats, and Plusle and Minun are chipmunk, mouse, rabbits. But here, it's a squirrel, obviously, and then it's a flying squirrel, and then it's a dormouse gerbil mix, and then it's a hedgehog, and then a guinea pig, and then a viscacha marmot mix. It's sometimes said that Gen 4 was the last of the classic Pokemon games and their original design philosophies, and I can definitely see that. There's even some noticeable change within it. Though, I love how this is only the 3rd true Pikachu clone, and yet it's evident that Game Freak or the Pokemon Company knew that introducing a new one in every generation was forever going to be a thing from now on. That Dex entry I mentioned is evidence of that. Like, yeah, we did Plusle and Minun, and so this is just the thing. It's gonna be a thing forever now. Forever and always. So, tell me, Game Freak, after the vague rodent designs of the first 5, why design Pachirisu like this?
I saw a squirrel. It was doing like this.
Pachirisu's home is Sinnoh, which is based on Hokkaido, and Hokkaido has squirrels because it's on Earth. Look at this map, squirrels are everywhere. Almost. They're just not here because it's too cold, and they're not here because they get eaten faster than they can breed. While there are squirrels pretty much everywhere, their biggest population is in North America, and a few small pockets of high-density population here and there, like the northern Gulf of Guinea, various spots in Southeast Asia, and pretty much all of Japan, though Hokkaido has the lowest population of them in Japan. Well, Game Freak didn't care too much about where their Pokemon inspirations were located back then, so honestly it's all good. They're still Japanese. It makes electricity with pouches in its cheeks and shoots charges from its tail. It lives atop trees, so it's a Pikachu squirrel. How about another Dex entry? It makes fur balls that crackle with static electricity and stores them with berries in tree holes. Okay, so it's a Pikachu squirrel. How about a species related to the Pikachu line? Ah! It really is just a squirrely Pikachu then? It squirrels away berries because squirrels squirrel away acorns for winter? Oh, I just got that that's why it's called squirreling away, because they... I'm a dip. Well, why is it white? Aside from albinos, I can't really think of any white squirrels off the top of my head. Yeah, that kind of tickles. Oh, hello! What's this picture? Oh! I'm gonna say something I've never said before on this channel. I apologize in advance. This thing is cute! The Momonga, or Japanese dwarf flying squirrel, is endemic to Hokkaido, so it's perfect. Though, as cute and beloved and white and big-eyed as it is, Pachirisu, you're not a flying squirrel. That's Emolga. Oh, what's this now? The Ezorisu, or Hokkaido squirrel. Yeah, that is very much more your shape. And they turn a light gray in winter. It's even got your pointy ear fluff. Alright, so you're like a mix of the 2 squirrels that call Hokkaido home. That's brilliant! Oh, and you even found today's sponsor. Sponsor time! The Helix Flash Sale Best of Web offer is live now! January is a time to think about last year, to reflect, and I've been doing a lot of that. Some say I'm a PokeTuber that sometimes talks about other games.
While I say he's a mattress salesman who sometimes talks about Pokemans.
I mean, can you blame me? Not only has Helix literally saved this channel from extinction at one point, but their mattresses have powered through my roundness on the calm and relaxing nights, as well as the nights full of activity. And it is lovely. Even 7 years on, it will definitely last through their 10-year warranty. My wife and I took their quick and easy online sleep quiz to see what mattresses they recommend for our sleep preferences. We got the Helix Midnight Luxe with a medium feel and a cooling cover. Nothing is worse to us than being too hot in bed. Can't sleep, I'd rather be freezing. And the cooling cover helps dissipate excess heat away, so we were excited. It came to us vacuum sealed in an easy to move box that our cat Sasha was later on top of. I took the mattress out, took it out on a date because I loved it so much, and then my wife and I got to try the mattress out during their 100-night sleep trial to make sure we loved it, and we did. So we kept it, and the 2 free pillows too, which you can also get along with 27% off because the Helix flash sale best of web offer is live now. Check it out by going to helixsleep.com/Lockstin. Link in the description. It's a limited time deal, so now's the best time to upgrade your mattress to upgrade your sleep this year. How well you sleep plays a huge role in your overall health after all. Let this be your year. So get started with their sleep quiz now, link below. Now then, Emolga. The name mixes the Japanese words for flying squirrel and drapery or clothes, and it does so poorly. For a good reason, mind you. It's a flying squirrel, and its wings are described as cape-like in the Pokedex. That's a drapery. It just sounds so uncomfortable in my ears and in my mouth. Emolga. Emolgat. And I know I'm not alone in that opinion, but that's not the point right now. Because this is... Northern flying squirrels live in and around real-world Unova, New York. And compared to a typical squirrel's big, round, and fluffy tail, flying squirrels' tails are more flat and a bit pointed. That way it helps them maintain balance while flying through the air. Well, not flying per se, rather... falling with style! These squirrels evolved to have patagium. A patagia is a membranous body part that helps certain animals obtain lift when gliding or flying. That's got them not only on their sides, but on the other side of their arms and between their fingers even, which is why they can actually fly, unlike flying squirrels who are just able to glide from tree to tree, as their patagium is only on their flanks from limb to limb. That doesn't stop Emolga though, who just floats there, Pokemon magic and all that, but also that might have to do with its flappies being referred to as a cape in the Dex. They live on treetops and glide using the inside of a cape-like membrane while discharging electricity. It glides using its cape-like membrane. The sky squirrel Pokemon. Emolga lives in trees and uses its cape-like membrane to glide through the air. So all the Dex really tells us is that it's a squirrely Pikachu with a cape. Great, but actually, that does help us. After all, there was something special about the games Emolga was introduced in. Unova was the first mainline Pokemon region not based in Japan. It's all American, just like Caped Crusaders, cape-wearing superheroes, flying through the air just because. No real reason. Flight without wings, rockets, magic, or psychic ability is one of those basic superpowers for basic generic superheroes. Darn you, Superman, with your big iconic cape becoming a mainstay in the superhero genre, which got its big start in the US before becoming a global media phenomenon. Dang you! So how do you clone an American Pikachu and give it the ability to fly? You give it a cape. Duh. Of course it can fly. It has a cape. Though the Pokedex does also say, as Emolga flutters through the air, it crackles with electricity. So maybe there's some magic electromagnetism helping it along its flight path. But really though, the anime goes back and forth between it can only glide short distances between trees and it can just fly up and around in circles all at once. And in the games, yeah, it's just floating there. How does it follow you? Yeah, that figures. This Pokemon absolutely loves sweet berries. Sometimes it stuffs its cheeks full of so much food that it can't fly properly. You know, Emolga's whole introductory episode was about it being extremely cute and irresistible in order to steal loads of berries. It's got quite the sweet tooth, and even Elisa's Emolga uses Attract a few times. And those facts combined makes me think that sugar gliders may play a role here too. They are basically if possums were flying squirrels. And while native to Australia, where squirrels interestingly aren't, they are one of the more common exotic pets across the globe. And unlike the northern flying squirrels, which are more brown on top, white on the bottom, sugar gliders have this pattern, which is almost like Emolga's little spikes of black here. And of course, the reason sugar gliders are so common as exotic pets is because people find them so irresistibly cute! And that's because they're objectively that! Sugar gliders were one of my favorite animals for a while, so I have this plush from my ex-girlfriend. She's my wife now, because she gave me this. Very sweet. Sugar gliders would love her, as they absolutely devour and destroy sweet things like tree sap and nectar, which would explain Emolga's particular love of sweets as well. It's also worth re-bringing up the Japanese dwarf flying squirrel, because it's also white with a big head, and is a flying squirrel, and is Japanese. It probably influenced the design of Emolga is all I'm saying, really. Just like I'm probably going to influence you to learn about the most recent Pikachu clone in this video here. The whole Palmot line. CPR Marmot Viscachas. Thanks for watching, and never stop using your noggin like whoever decided to keep the name Emolga in the West. It sounds so bad. I need a vaccine just from touching this plush.